What's up, everybody? I am going to send an invite or share this with my personal page in the group real quick so we can get everybody in this live video as possible. Let's see. That's freaky. I see myself within myself on another phone. Kind of creepy. Give me just a second. I promise this isn't voyeurism. This isn't some weird kinky voyeurism video, despite the 80s music playing in the background. Alright, so as I was saying, this isn't some weird voyeurism video. I was, despite the 80s music that I've got, that's a band called Atlantic Star. It was a free record I picked up at the Vinyl Frontier in Carrollton, Georgia. If you've ever been there, you'll know they have this bin outside of free records that you can grab, and I grabbed one. It looked interesting. It kind of looked like the Jackson 5 minus Jackson. There's one female in there. Hey Jeremy, how are you, man? So yeah, this is the first kind of episode of what we're gonna try to make happen. So it might be a little rough. We'll see how it works. We're gonna have Douglas Aldridge here in a second within the chat. He's going to come on, and we are going to discuss some stuff, particularly his music and how he got started, what made him pick up an instrument to begin with, and all kind of fun stuff. Who knows what it'll be, but I'm going to see if he's in here and if I can bring him on and get this music off. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Not too much. Just listening to some cheesy 80s music.
Yeah, I heard the intro tunes. I'm gonna put this on this tripod right here. Let me see if I can swap the camera. My front screen is broken, so let's see. How's that? Can I still hear you?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so now you should be able to see me too.
You're sideways though.
Am I?
You're sideways.
All right, hold on. All right, how's that?
That looks good. That looks good.
Nice.
All right, man. I'll turn this on down. So, yeah, man. When did we meet? We met fall of last year, I believe, at Rockin' Taco, right?
Yeah.
Or it wasn't. It was Tannery Row Ale House. That was it. We met at Tannery Row Ale
yeah.
House.
It was right after they announced the summer top songs of the summer last year on 99X.
Yeah.
And yours was number 3. Airwaves was number 3 on the countdown.
It was. For a minute, I thought it said the lamest songs of the summer, and I was like, okay, I can get on board. I can get on board. I should have been number 1 if that was the case. But dude, thank you so much. I know we hit it off from the very beginning when we met. It was like we've known each other our whole life, and you got a really good personality, and I think our personalities sort of mesh up really well together. That's probably why we hit it off so well. But what I'm trying to do with this, as you know, I was talking to you earlier about it, is just get people in the know within the local music scene of so much talent that's in the area, and not only let people know about the local musicians that are all around, but also what we have to deal with, the good and the bad, when it comes to
Yeah.
playing live shows. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't complain about it. It's amazing, but it's not as easy as people think it is. There's a very
Right.
it's a very
It,
lonely road to leave
the music is
sometimes.
the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, absolutely.
Writing a song good enough to get on a top 10 songs of the summer is like, you'd think you've done it right there. You'd think, like all the hard work paid off and you did everything that you had to do, but that's still just the very, very tip of the iceberg. Like, sure that I'm sure that opened up a lot of opportunities for you and help push you further forward in your endeavors. But like, writing the song is just the very, very tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that goes into putting a song out on iTunes or anywhere online for people to hear. There's so much more that goes into it. And yeah, a lot of people will never know. They'll think, oh, you're just hanging out in your basement. You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're
it's
right.
amazing.
You're right, man. It's one of those things. I think, and I can only assume because I am so far away from the degree of like, you know, being a national act, like touring around everywhere, being a name that comes out of everyone's mouth or everyone knows. But even then, once
Right.
you reach there, it's still not it. Like that, once you get that one song in the bag that kind of lands you into people's ears, it's then, well, how do we stay here? How do we stay relevant? Attention spans
Exactly.
or attention spans nowadays, technology came so far, everything's easily accessible, music
Yes.
is everywhere, that you can be the hot thing for 1 minute, and then a forgotten memory the next. And
Right.
so even when you make it, or whatever, however you define making it,
Right.
it's still a battle. I don't think there's ever a point where you just can sit back and go, eh, I'm good right here.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it all. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even getting number one on that countdown. Like, I'm sure I can't even remember
I was
who the
gonna.
number one was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've got a terrible memory, man. My memory is. I've got a bad
Yeah, I
memory.
can't even remember who
Um,
was at number one. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with the industry right there. Can't even
mhm.
remember who got number one.
That's true. That's true. Well, man, we're probably gonna talk some more about this in a little bit, but let's focus on you for a minute. As anybody that's in the chat, this is Douglas Aldridge, and he's the special guest today, and we are going to be discussing a lot of different things. Suicide being one thing later on that has kind of weighed heavy on me, and I think needs to be discussed. And we're going to take questions at the end, but right now we're going to get to know Mr. Douglas here for a minute. Douglas, what got you started? Like maybe start with your influences and then go from there. What made you start writing?
Um, well, I've been singing since I could first speak, really. I mean, I remember singing songs as a little kid. There was a jingle to the Ingalls commercial, and I would sing that jingle like it was like it was the best song ever written. And I can't remember what it was now because I have a terrible memory too. Been flooded. Uh, but music has just always been a thing in my family. My dad's a singer. My grandfather was a singer. I remember seeing my grandfather walk around the house, and he'd have a stethoscope, like you'd listen to someone's heart with. He'd be walking around with the stethoscope in his ears, singing into the part that you'd listen to the heart. And we'd be like, "What are you doing?" He'd be like, "I'm trying to hear myself sing." I just, music's always been a big thing in my family. My dad, like I said, my dad's a singer. My grandfather was a singer. My grandmother, she danced and sang, and I was in chorus ever since first grade or kindergarten, and I was in chorus throughout high school. When I started writing, I kind of went on a different, like most teenagers do, went on a crazy path for a while. But um, all experiences, all things that I've been through, they've all been what led me to this moment, to be
Yeah,
on this live feed with you right now, talking about me and my music. And
I can
there's
only
been a lot of
imagine.
hardships, a lot of struggles, and a lot of bad decisions, and a lot of empty promises, and um, the one thing that has pushed me through has been just to keep pushing through and not to accept no as an answer when it comes to me or my art, or what I have struggled for the last decade. Um, Perseverance is the number one key to any of this. To see any success, no matter how big or small, um, you have to keep pushing and not
Oh, yeah.
accept no for an answer.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I remember a long time ago. I can't remember who I heard it from, but it's true. You're gonna face 100 no's before you get that one yes. And
Yeah, that was one thing when I used to do door to door sales for Comcast. You walk to 100 houses, get 100 no's before you're going to get that first yes,
oh yeah,
and then probably have to walk to another 100 houses to get that second yes. But
and then one of those yeses is probably gonna fall through out of the two. Maybe
absolutely,
both. Maybe both.
more than 75% chance.
Man, if you would, could you? I'd like you to play a few songs today, but how about you play one for us? One of my favorites, man. Oh, and by the way, wearing the official merch here.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. I love.
Got on my Douglas
You
Aldridge
don't
shirt
know
right
how
here.
good that makes me feel.
I uh, I love this shirt so much. Sometimes I sleep in it and touch myself to it. That's how much I love that shirt. I love it.
I know you probably haven't washed it since you made me put it on that one time.
I haven't. I told you to put it on. I haven't took it off either. It's been on under all my shirts. But dude, if you would, one of my favorite songs of yours is "My Mind," and if you play that one for us, that'd be great. And then we can talk about your new album after that. But
Hey, yeah,
I'd love
awesome.
to.
I would love to play this. My dad actually he wrote some of the lyrics for this, and I don't know if he's watching. I know he shared the post that I shared about this earlier. So I'm gonna do this just acoustic. I don't have any of the guys here, and I could play a backtrack, but it's been a while since I've done it this way, so I kind of just wanted to do it the old way. Um, but here we go. This is My Mind. Can you hear that all right?
Sounds good on my end.
All right. And all I wanna say is a thing or two of how gravity has got a hold on me, and it never lets me go. Before I walk away, if I could get a chance, but gravity starts pulling me into different directions, north and south, and I don't want to run away from my own, and I don't want to leave the things that I own. I want to stay here forevermore, and I just want you to know, if the desert is where I must roam, then I don't want to roam it all alone, because I can't stop my mind from wondering, even though I try, and I've tried 1,000 times. The world has gone so crazy, crazy now. All that's good just seemed to die, and it seemed to die, and we don't even wonder why. Well, not anymore. Oh no. Oh no. I'm staring down at my feet because you know I can't help myself. You know I'm starting to think that the free world's gone to jail. I wanna start a revolution. I'm gonna start it from my head. So I want you all to start thinking the same thoughts, the same crazy running through my head. Because I can't stop my mind from wondering, even though I tried. And I've tried 1,000 times. The world is gone so crazy now. All that's good just seems to die, and it seems to die, and we don't even wonder why. Well, not anymore. Oh no.
Yes, dude, I love that song. I love that
Thank you,
song.
dude. Thank you.
That breakdown after the chorus gets me every time. That da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Oh no! I love it. Love it, man. Love it, dude. What's the? Could you give us a little bit of insight into that song? Like what?
It's really it started with my dad waking up in the middle of the night and having heavy feelings on his heart about the state of the world and the way that people treat each other. And you know, he wrote it down, and it was something that I was able to take and put together with this song that I had wrote the melody for on a trip up to visit him. And it's really about seriously about how this world is just getting worse and worse as the years go by, and each generation is getting worse and worse. And you know, I don't want to say like they don't make them like they used to, but people just don't have the same standards and same respect for each other that I feel like people once had in generations past.
I agree, dude. I absolutely agree with you on that. You know, it's that's a good segue into kind of touching on the topic of today that I wanted to get your opinions on and stuff. Is suicide, man. It's crazy. So much of it's going on now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know.
Um,
Anthony Bourdain today. I mean, and that's not the reason this topic came about. This has been heavy on me all week. I was listening, as I told you, we were talking on the phone earlier, listening to some Chris Cornell audio slave earlier this week, and I was showing somebody that wasn't that familiar with them, and they were really listening to the lyrics, and they're like, man, he was screaming out, "Help me!" Like
yeah.
he was screaming out, "Help me," or just screaming out discontent. I guess might be a better word. And I was like, yeah. I mean, the songs were so good. We got, you know, like, and it all interjects what you were saying earlier about when we was talking about what it takes to get to wherever we're going is disappointment, struggle, heartbreak, broken promises, as you said. And those things, it seems like negativity and the things that we experience as artists, such as depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, with some, it all interplays into these beautiful songs, and it's like,
Absolutely, it's what creates that pain and that struggle is what it. You have to go through that in order to write beauty, in order to paint beauty, and you know, any art that's made comes from that dark place of struggle. Because if it didn't, if everything was peachy all the time, there'd be you would become jaded to good things happening to you. If it was good all the time,
yeah,
there was never anything bad. There'd be no contrast, and you have to struggle. But some people struggle worse than others and don't have any outlets.
that's
Um,
true.
I use music as my outlet, and I have for a long time. Like some of the songs I've written, they could sound like help me letters, but music is the only place where I can really be free to let any kind of emotional thing out of me, and getting it out of you is better than holding it in.
Oh
So
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
even if I do, maybe have songs that are a little bit dark or seem like they're coming from a really dark place, it's better for me to get that out than to hold it in.
I
And
I agree with you.
maybe part of the problem with some of these very, very successful artists is you get boxed in, where they used to be able to do whatever they wanted artistically, and they could let a lot of these emotions and things get out. Now they're trapped inside of hotel rooms where they can't show their face because everybody knows them. And I know for me myself, I'm an introvert, and it may seem and sound crazy to be somebody who wants to get on stage and sing songs for you, but like to be recognizably famous, I don't that would be tough for me, because I wouldn't be able to go out and do things, and everybody would be constantly expecting me to be turned on and performing for them.
Yeah,
And that in
absolutely.
itself could be what is driving some of these um, artists. What's driving some of these artists to do to commit suicide and to go to extremes. Um,
I never thought, man. That's
how
like
do you feel?
that opens my eyes. Like as I said, I hope people watch this. I hope people engage in it and get something from it. But I knew from the get go from this that if nobody else watched this, I was going to get something out of it and be educated and view things differently. And I never that says a lot. That's once again that's an opinion, but that's an opinion I can get behind. I think uh, I can totally see that. I never thought about it that way. Being these artists, that some of them are introverts, and I'm with you as well. I'm a very outgoing person, but I people that know me well know when I'm off the stage and stuff. Unless it's at a show or something, I'm not rambunctious. I'm not bouncing off the walls. I'm not me, me, me. I'm a very quiet person,
Right.
and I can, and that's something uh, that I battle with and stuff is, being open. I told myself when I started this, I was going to be honest about things. A lot of people don't know that I deal with extreme anxiety, something that I've got under control uh, within the past 2 to 3 years. I've gotten under control majorly, but I got it when I turned 18 or 19. I was smoking some Kushman. I was smoking it, and I was eating some Pizza Hut, scarfing it down. I had a very bad episode, and that bad episode led to me having a struggle with anxiety. Um, it got me to the point where I didn't want to go nowhere. Sometimes I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to get outside my bubble. And some people were mistaking that for, oh, he's stuck up, or oh,
Yeah.
he's too good to talk to me now. Oh, or what's wrong with him? It's one of those things that people don't truly know. You can't understand it until you're there. It's a very hard thing to understand. Depression, anxiety, they'll say it's all in your head, and that's exactly where it's at. It's all in your
It is.
head. If it's there, you can't get it out. Like
Yeah.
you have
The
to.
crazy thing is I struggle with depression, and when I was younger at 18, you know, I knew it was a chemical imbalance in my brain, and that at 18 I could just like push right past it like it was nothing, and it wouldn't affect me.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, and I don't know if it's like just something that gets worse over time, or because life is so the way it is, that it makes it tougher over time. But I can't just push past things the way I used to when I was younger. I could just tell myself it's all in your head, get over it, soldier on, and it's not as easy as it once was. So
Yes, you're right, man. That's it's a very hard thing to deal with, and there is no cure for people who have depression, who have anxiety. I firmly believe there is not a cure. Like, it's something you learn, you have to exercise. It's exercise of the mind and thought,
yeah,
and how you conduct yourself. And it's one of those things. If you lay down and you don't constantly keep it in check, it's just like working out. You don't work out, you're gonna put on the pounds. You're gonna be out of breath going up a set of stairs. That's anxiety. It's an exercise that you got to stay on top of and keep in shape, or it becomes just this ball of fat that just consumes you and you can't hardly do anything or get off the
right,
couch. And
right,
that's something I learned to deal with. And same as you, I went through the same thing, and it's something I was thankfully able to get kind of control of. Like, and the only way to do it was to push through. Sometimes just be pouring sweat because I just can't. I'm so nervous and for no reason, or
right,
to put myself in uncomfortable situations, put myself out there, force myself to do what my mind says. Don't you dare do it. Don't you
right.
dare do that. It's going to be consequences. There's not. You got to push yourself and just do it. And I'm glad we're talking about this because I think there's many, many, many people, um, even maybe some watching this chat, that deal with some form of anxiety, depression, and it's been said a million times. Um, I don't think mine started with social media or nothing because back then I wasn't, I'm not that old, but I wasn't deep into social media. But I think trying to keep up with other people and stuff, it feels like a race, and people get
Yeah,
consumed with it.
you're always turned on, you're always competing, and with social media, it does stretch you thin.
Yeah.
Having to be available all the time.
I
It's
mean,
one of the toughest parts of being a musician and being a singer songwriter and sharing music with people. It's one of the toughest things to be available
yeah,
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
absolutely. I understand. That's something I can totally understand, and it's a struggle, but it's something like we had talked about. If you just I'll say this, and then I'll about this subject because I feel like we've kind of discussed it and stuff. But I think a big thing in order to get these things under check, um, anxiety, depression, or even suicidal thoughts, is not being so prideful or stubborn or thinking people are going to think less or weak of you, and talk to
Right.
somebody, and don't bottle it up. I mean, think too many people think, well, if I tell them, they're going to think I'm crazy or I'm psycho
Yeah.
or I'm weak-minded, like less of a man, or if it's a woman, it's gonna cause gossip, and girls are gonna be talking about me. Like, just talk to your
Right.
friends, your true friends, and get it out of you. Because if you can't, like you said, you can't bottle it up inside. And I think that's where it starts. The
Let it go in
exercise.
short bursts rather than just popping a balloon. It's better to let that
Yeah,
air out slowly than
man, beautiful
over time.
metaphor, man. Beautiful metaphor. I agree. Um, all right. Well, I want to talk about your new album you got out. You played a song that was actually on this album just a minute ago, one of my favorites. But you got a new album out, which come out about, well, if I'm thinking right, 2 months ago or a month ago, a month and a half. Am I way off?
About a month. It was May 2nd. Official release date was May 2nd. which just keeps in line with the original release of the album that you're wearing the T-shirt of. That was May 2nd, 2016. Then last year I released on May 2nd, Running for Myself. And then this year I released Catching Glimpses May 2nd. But all three of those album releases, although the Optional was a shorter album, they were all accepted by Pandora, and now they're all streaming on Pandora. So this year I released this album, Catching Glimpses, kind of in a rush, in a I don't want to say last minute. You know, there was a lot of preparation that went into it. I had 24 tracks I was going to release that I cut down to the 14 that are on the album. But to keep in line with that May 2nd superstitious deadline, I just felt like since the last 2 years I released May 2nd and the albums were accepted by Pandora, I wanted to stay in tradition with that.
That's cool, man. I love the intro to the album. And it's on Spotify for anybody that wants to check it out. It's on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much anything they use, right?
Yeah, it's on Deezer and Tidal and Groove and iHeartRadio and yeah, anywhere and everywhere. Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. It's even on some like websites that people probably don't even know about.
I saw it on
radio.
I saw it on X videos and Pornhub the other day. I mean, it's making its rounds.
Yeah, I got a few connections. So.
Anywhere it can get to, it's there. But
I put it every single where I can put it.
Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, metaphysically.
So, what's this? In a nutshell, this new album. What would you say the concept? Is it a concept, or is it just a little bit of everything? Your emotions, or where you're at now in life, or? Uh-oh. I don't know if this froze up on my end or if this phone died. I'm not sure. Maybe his phone died. We'll give him just a second to see if we can get him back. That's technology for you. You never know what's going to happen. But while we wait on him, anybody got any questions or anybody got any comments? Oh, there he is. Let's see. There we go. There we go.
You got me?
Yeah, I was like old technology.
Yeah, I got a phone call came in, so it ruined everything.
Oh, it's okay. But so yeah, the new album, man. What's the old concept on it?
The concept is okay. So Catching Glimpses is it's really about the dream I've been chasing for ever since I can remember. You know, being a little kid singing songs. I've always wanted to do this, and Getting radio play with 99X, making it to the finals, competing against other songwriters here in Atlanta, the likes of you, and getting featured, showcased in the Heineken City Showcases last year at Castleberry Hill, and I can't remember where the one in June was at, but it's just the concept is, catching glimpses of success in this artistry that I've been chasing for years and years and years.
That's really cool. It makes sense with the title too, like catching glimpses of the dream you're chasing. Like you get a little bit. You keep
slowly
going
materializing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
There's been so many times in my life and in my career so far that I've thought, okay, well, I guess this is it. I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore because, it's tough on you as a person to put yourself out there so many times and get so many rejections. But it's also like it feels so good after those 100 no's to get that one yes. So
yeah.
To start to get those yeses on a more regular basis, it's been feeling really good. Like I've been getting a lot of yeses lately with this new album. I've been submitting it to radio stations in Canada and in the UK, and a lot of yeses lately. It almost feels like I'm on a hot streak or something.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
To come from this place of like where I felt like I was rushing myself to put this album out, it feels really good to have, to get all these yeses and get all this recognition from this album. Because Feverish, I've been playing Feverish for a while. I wrote it last year at the end of summer, and catching glimpses is only something I've wrote. I think I wrote it in January. So some of the songs are really new. Some of the songs are kind of old. Some of the songs are like middle-aged. But collectively, it is just talking about seeing success, even if they're really small successes, even if it's just a Pose Radio. They put me on 2 of their stations, featured me twice in the last week, and have been playing songs from Catching Glimpses album, LP. They've been playing songs from my album nonstop for the last 48 or more hours. So, I don't know, man. It's just,
that's very cool, man. It's one of those things where sometimes you go through a period where you feel like nothing's happening,
yeah.
But you keep going, like you said, perseverance, and then when you're not expecting it, opportunities kind of fall in your lap. When you're not expecting it, and those are the little packets of fuel in the tank that keep the motor running, and that's awesome. I wanted you, man, if you would, let's hear a new song from the new album, Catching Glimpses, if you don't mind playing one for us.
Well, I was gonna play.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna play this song, "I Woke Up a Workout," which is on the new album. You might have heard it before. I don't play this one too often. But this is actually based on a true story. The events of this song took place when I was about 18 years old, and I was in a crazy. It was crazy. Just check it out.
All right, man. Cool.
I woke up a workout. I woke up standing in the front yard, alarms going off, while the only look they gave me was crazy. out, spoke his mind. A truck tire died, vertical, my opposite, curled up like a baby. And all I could think on repeat was, is she coming? Is she coming? Is she coming? Is she coming for me? The thought terrifying. I questioned everything. Is she coming? Is she coming? Is she coming? Is she coming for me? What a woe, what a woe, what a woe, what a woe is me. I said, now is this really happening? Is this really happening? Oh, is she coming for me? What a woe, la 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 la.
Very cool, man. Very cool. I love the ukulele, man, and that your voice and the ukulele, they just mesh together so well. So I always enjoy when you break it out. Beautiful song too, man. I love that. It's
When
catchy.
I first started playing the ukulele, it was just as a novelty. But I really love it now. Like when I run out of ideas, when I can't think of anything fresh or new with guitar, I just pick up the ukulele and it just pours out. So
That's cool. I need.
it's almost like a cheat for me to have the ukulele. Like it shouldn't
I
be
would.
allowed.
I really want to get one. I was gonna get one a few months ago, but ended up getting an electric and stuff. But I was dead set on getting one. Hopefully, I will soon. I picked up something online the other day. I'm usually not an impulse buyer, but I got it's called a jamboree. It's like
Okay.
it's a tambourine. It's a new product. You put it inside your guitar and you strum
Really?
it and you hit the tambourine right there, and it kind of keeps the beat. Like, yeah, you can use it. It's very cool. It's called a jamboree.
I wanted to show this off since I had the opportunity. I made this out of a whiskey box.
Oh, give us a close up real quick of it if you don't mind. Can we
It's
get a
only
close up? Oh, that's cool.
it says Booker's Bourbon.
And you made that?
Let's see. Booker's Bourbon. A bottle of bourbon came in this. And
Oh, that's
cut
so
out
cool,
the front,
dude. That's cool.
I put this electric pickup in here. I took off of a little kid guitar. This neck I reshaped. I've got my heart symbol here. Wood burned in.
Oh man, that's cool.
Here's the pickup. This is the volume knob. Input. Let me plug it in real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. Art creating art. It's crazy. That's got,
Just
and
a
you made
snippet
that,
of the
and you made that from a whiskey, not a whiskey bottle,
whiskey box.
a whiskey box. Man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I think an artist is one of those things where music is definitely the main outlet for probably the creativity, but I notice a lot of artists also are very creative and do other things within the world of art outside of just the music, and that's not I I don't have that capability. Mine is more I'm a graphic arts kind of guy doing that kind of thing, but a lot of artists
And that's
kind
still
of
art.
yeah, it's cool.
And
It's
you're
really
crazy
cool.
with it too.
Oh, thank you, man. That's so cool. I wish I could do that. That and it sounded good too.
It's
That's
out of
really
tune,
cool.
man. I should have tuned it up first, but
It's
we're talking
okay.
about anxiety and we're talking about all of this stuff and like, even before I knew you were gonna call it, I knew we were gonna go live at 5, and like I had anxiety about doing this, about doing this interview and hanging out
Oh,
with you on Facebook Live. Like, I Wiki Girls last year, and every time we would have a phone call because we were only making music remotely, and like we would get together and we would try to get on a phone call, all three of us together, like once a week, and I would have the worst anxiety about talking to them about making music with each other. Like, it
yeah.
doesn't make any sense to have anxiety about those things, but I do.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm the same way. I think it comes from overthinking because I
yeah,
have the same problem. Overthink things or never am satisfied with the end result, no matter how good something
right,
is. Like it's I think it just comes with the territory of being an artist. Like
yeah.
it's a very we have to be sort of strange creatures to do what we do. Like it takes a little bit of that little bit of something that's a little off in a certain area to create. I mean, it's just I think because
To
nine
sit
times
and
out of
think
ten,
about to sit and think about the same things over and over and over again to figure out the best way to say it.
absolutely.
You have to be a little mad.
All right, man. I'm gonna ask you. I'll ask you three questions real quick, and
Okay.
they're not deep questions. They're just all right. Favorite band.
Modest Mouse.
Modest Mouse. I love some Modest Mouse. They're
Definitely
so.
my favorites of all time.
I love Bukowski a lot. I love
Yeah.
that song. All right. Favorite movie.
I got a lot. Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. Oh, you can't go wrong with
Joe
that.
Dirt or Talladega Nights. Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Man, I love that. Life's a Garden. Dig it. You can't have no in your heart. That's Joe Dirt.
what was that? What was that one thing from Joe Dirt? He's like, "Homeway maker." Oh, you like to see homos naked?
Oh my.
Homeway
Homeboy
maker.
make.
Dude,
About
dude, it's cool.
10 years ago, they had a little boy with the same haircut as you. Damn, boy, you out of date.
Those movies never get old. I love those movies. All right,
Yeah, Joe
favorite.
Dirt, man. I'll watch Joe Dirt. If I feel depressed, I'll watch Joe Dirt, and then I'll feel happy.
Yeah, I do. I'm just saying, I love that movie so much, and every time I watch it, I swear to myself, I'm gonna grow my hair out like that and rock it.
I
I'm
would
like,
love,
you know what?
I would love to see you with a Joe Dirt haircut.
Just tossed it in the back, let the little curls fly in the back, right above the neck.
You mean to tell me
Oh.
it grows in all white trashy like that all on its own?
favorite TV show.
um, My
Oh,
Name is
Nick.
Earl. I really love a lot, but Raising Hope is one that I love a lot too. I think they're kind of like brother. They're like cousins anyway.
Did you say
The
Raising
shows.
Hope?
Yeah.
Raising Hope. Okay, I remember that.
Raising Hope. My Name is Earl.
I got a guilty pleasure, man. Don't tell anybody though, okay?
Okay.
Don't tell nobody.
I ain't gonna tell
Gilmore
anybody
Girls.
except for the people who are watching this.
Yeah, nobody else tell anyone. I don't know. I sort of went through a '90s binge. I watched like Gilmore Girls, Party of Five. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me. I had like a. I never watched it. I ran out of things to watch on Netflix. I think that's what's going on.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what happened.
Nick,
You ever heard of
my
Crackle?
buddy Nick, Crackle, yeah,
You should check that out.
I need
And
to.
Voodoo.
My butt.
Check out Voodoo too.
Nick Klein said Walk Hard is his favorite. I love
Oh
some
man,
Walk
Walk Hard. I love that movie.
Walk hard, hard down the
In
line.
my dreams, you're blowing me some kisses.
Let's do it.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
And
That
Michael
movie is
Conrad
ridiculous.
said Michael Conrad said cool show. So apparently
Right on, thank you.
we didn't suck too bad.
Yeah.
You know what? You want to play one more new tune from the
Yeah.
album we got out now, and then we'll wrap this baby up.
This here, I'm gonna try and do this song "Catching Glimpses," the title track.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm gonna give this a shot and see how this see how it goes.
Hey,
Catching
go ahead.
Glimpses. On the playground on my very first day, I was the new kid and I knew playtime passed away. What happened next now feels like fate. I started singing about my feelings just to cope with the pain. It's probably pointless and needless to say, but if you don't mind at the time, here it goes anyway. I don't know why people say practice makes perfect and patient persistence pays. But it was one fine day in the month of May. Many years had come along, many years had passed away. You know my hope was nearly gone when my mind hit airwaves and into motion. It set the wheels of change. Now I'm catching glimpses of a life I'd always dreamed that I'd attain. I'm catching glimpses, and ever since it started happening, it's like I'm living in an alternate reality. Things are starting to look up for me, and I'm catching glimpses. Won't let opinions be the death of me, while everybody retweets unattainability. All my dreams are becoming reality. I'm catching glimpses. I'll keep going glances my way. My only wish is that we will take our chances. One fine day. Now maybe it was all a misunderstanding, or maybe it was my mistake. Now you know that I know behind my back you hang with forked-tongued friends that are always talking out the side of their face. Often looking in the mirror when I'm staring at a stranger's face. You know I'm trying to see it clearer through the blue of me and you and the void that this waste creates. I used to be the sunrise, you used to be the sunset. That was in the golden old days when our love was our best bet. Now catching glimpses, let opinions be the death of me, while everybody reaches unattainability. All my dreams are becoming reality.
Yes. Very cool, man. I love.
Pretty rough, but something I've been working on.
It don't matter how
It's
I can play a song a billion times and I never play it and go, man, I freaking executed that song. That was it. I'm always like, man, I screwed that song up so bad. Like, in reality, I didn't. But in my mind, it's
I
like,
blew it.
I blew it. It's it. It's it. Get the
Never gonna have
gasoline.
me back.
Get the gasoline. We're burning the guitar. I'm done. Burn it. Get it away from me. I suck. um, Dude, man. I think this has been a blast today. I've had a lot of fun, and
Oh, I
uh,
definitely have.
uh, let's see if before we go, see if anybody has any questions they want to ask you, or ask me. If anybody's got anything, we do have one question from Nick Klein. He asked, uh, "Does your guest make cigar box guitars?" And I guess he might be curious as to you make that for other people to sell or anything.
Yeah, the whiskey box guitar. I just sold one a couple weeks ago for $100. But that was because it was to a really close friend of mine.
Okay.
And I've got a cigar box ukulele that I'm making. Um,
Ooh.
I should say that I was making. I put it on hold for a while. I can grab it if you want to take a look real quick. Let me.
Yeah, let's see it. A cigar box ukulele sounds interesting.
It's got. I just got to cut the. There it is. See, I think this is gonna sound really good once I get it done, but the neck needs to be like. I'm gonna have to cut this down a good bit. Have to cut at least that much of this off. The headstock will
Nice.
be somewhere right here. Frets coming across here.
That's so cool, man. That is very cool. Beautiful too. Beautiful guitar or ukulele.
Yeah, it was. I might go fretless, fretless with it, but that's only because it's gonna be really hard to put frets into it. It's just I've never done it, so it's gonna be some trial and error, and I don't want to trial and error with this one.
Yeah.
So I might just try to do it fretless, but I'll have to see how it turns out. Really, I might have no choice but to trial and error it.
So you do, I guess you do, for a sum of money, I guess anybody who wants it just needs to get with you and y'all talk
Yeah,
about price.
send me a message. Yeah,
Okay. Well, there you go. If any of you guys want a cigar box guitar, maybe ukulele or something, hit him up and uh, he'll get you going. They sound good. They look good. And if I wasn't
thank.
broke mofo, I'd be hitting you up. But
Yeah,
hey,
no, dude.
one day.
I only have them. I only have these two because I made them myself. I wouldn't have been able to go out and buy one for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the way. It's the old DIY method. That's
Yeah,
what I do a lot of times because of that. Which is the best way. It comes from the heart and it comes from your own creativity.
yeah.
Um, and you got Jessica Geiger says we love Dougie. We love
Hey,
Dougie.
yeah.
We do love
Love
Dougie.
y'all too.
Man, it's been awesome today. I think we've covered so much within this time, and it flew by. And
Yeah.
uh,
I can't believe it's
I
been an hour already.
I know it's been so cool, and not only to for me to get your perspectives on different topics, but also a little insight into some of the songs, like my mind. I didn't. That's very cool. Now I feel like I will enjoy the song even more now, knowing where it came from, and I totally agree with as you said, your dad waking up and just kind of being in panic of how you know crazy things have gotten. And it's cool that you was able to take that melody that you've been working on and combine it with his thoughts and stuff. That's so cool. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
his heart and feelings are in that first verse, and my craziness is in that second verse of that song. But that was the first song that got played on 99X, and I talk about that in Catching Glimpses. When my mind hit airwaves, it was one fine day in May when my mind hit airwaves. And
That's so cool. Great song. You got so
my
many
dad,
great.
he gets to live a little bit vicariously through me, and really, like, it was his nudge to write a song like that got me any notice at all in the first place. So we kind of feel like we both made it off of that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing, man, for sure. Everybody that's watching, he's got a lot of great music on there. Spotify, iTunes, anything you use, it's almost on there. So whatever music service you use to listen or stream, he's probably on there. And in the comments, I'm gonna link them to some of your stuff, Spotify, so they can just go to the comments, click there.
Thanks.
But a bunch of albums on there, and I love it, man. And I'm glad I got to have you on this first episode, kicking it off, man. I love it.
This has been a blast. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll interview you.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, about all anybody needs to know about me is I love Reese's, and I secretly watched Gilmore Girls because there was nothing else. There it is. Man, thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time today to sit down and
thank you. Thank you. Always glad to see you. Always glad to know what's up with Josh Ferguson.
Come here, come to the camera and give me a kiss real quick. Let's just end this the right way. Love you, man. I love you so much.
Around. Let me get a squeeze.
Oh,
Let me get a squeeze.
Stop. You better stop it. Oh, being quite generous with the size of my balls. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Flattering. Well, dude, you have yourself a great evening. Everybody, check out Douglas Aldridge in the comments with links to Spotify, and I'm gonna link some more stuff there. Check it out, Douglas. Love you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you too.
Thank you so much for including me in on this.
Yes, sir. We'll see you later, man.
All right. Peace, bro.
See you guys. Bye.